the fire, one air to fuel it. And we're going to look at when that air gets activated and the fire starts to, whew, and 7 placements in water signs. This is what gives Desiree the intuitive, emotional depth that she brings to all she does. It gives her, like, water is the strongest element in spite of the intensity of her creative, initiatory fire. So with that Mars in Aries in the second house, Mars is our outer directed energy. The sun is our essence, our solar life. Someone have a question?
Hey, David, can you mute?
All right.
Thanks, Ab.
So with that energy, Mars is the ruler of Aries. So Mars is at home in Aries, and it is that outer directed energy. It is our ambition, our courage, our ability to direct our energy into the world. And for Desiree, it is most activated and expressed when it comes to resources, values, and self-worth, because those are the themes of the second house. So her Aries is extra Aryan. Ooh, Aryan. That doesn't sound
Kind of like my totem pole there, Leah. Like, wait.
right?
Let's back that up.
The extra Aries energy, because she has Mars, who is most at home in the sign of Aries, also in Aries. If she were to have Mars in a water sign, this would shift the energy because she already has so much water in her chart. Okay. So I'm just giving you a little taste of how this expresses. Her third house sun, that is the house of community. So her soul is here to light the way for community. And it's rooted in access to resources. It's rooted in her deep values and her sense of, like, connection to, as much as we are spiritual beings, we are here on this earth, on this planet, in these bodies. So how can we create a life that feels pleasurable, beautiful, that honors, like, our deepest values? And so right out the gate, that sun in the third house in Aries, Mars in the second house in Aries, is a core part of Desiree and how she shows up in the world. She is also a boss because she's got Capricorn on her ascendant. This makes her a Capricorn rising. And Capricorn is able to go to the deepest depths. It's the sea goat. They go to the deepest depths and then they climb the mountain to the highest heights. So Desiree is not going to just stay on the surface. She is going to go to the depths and go to the heights and take in as much information, as much experience as she can. And then Capricorn takes it a step further because it uses that energy in service of bringing insight, resources, provision, and protection to others.
I love
So
this.
that is another huge part of who Desiree is. It can also lead to a tendency for overwork. So as much as we have this awesome potential in our charts, we can also see where we might struggle. Mars in Aries can be very, like, quick to react. And so one thing with anyone who has Mars in Aries, or in really any of the fire signs, but especially in Aries, is to learn how to honor the intensity of what you are feeling. And also, like, direct. With Mars, we have to direct the energy in a constructive way. Unless destruction is what is needed. Sometimes we actually need the destruction.
Tear it up.
In ways that aren't inciting unnecessary violence.
I had to learn that, right? Like, so as we're going through this, because my first instinct is always violence. It is today, like, it is always. And so I had to learn how to temper that and see the value in appreciating the intensity of things and finding that balance that everything is not war. I made a post the other day and I'm like, you're not really people want to say that they're peaceful, and often most people are passive from based on fear of open conflict. I'm peaceful because I'm capable of hell. I will bring the war to your door, right? I have no problem with that. I'm the first in line, the general. Let's go. I will lead you to hell and then bring you back. But I really did have to learn that balance of intensity. And also for people who are listening or what have you, I want you to know that my birth chart aligns with all of those Myers-Briggs tests, all of those who move my cheese things. It like, because they are really based on this and they just pretend to be scientific or psychological, right? My personality things, all of them still align with my original, right? This is the blueprint of who you are, of your life. And like all of them that I take. Because I use this like for my guidance in my work. Like even my brand colors are based on my natal chart, which is like, so it's in all of my work. And I use this, Gene Keys, and the human design together. And I decide my offerings, how I'm going to show up, this is how I was able to balance, like you said, the overwork, right? Because I'm thinking all the time. And I'm like, no, if somebody needs this, if one person says they need it, I will build a damn workshop around it, a whole course. And I'm like, okay, I'm doing too much. Right. And having to learn like this can be deep work, this can be intense work, but how do you find that balance? Right. And that's where I started moving through those seasonal rhythms. Like, nope, I can't do this all the time in all of the ways if I want the longevity. Right. And that taught me my capacity for the work that I'm doing in general, like in all aspects of my life. All right. There you go.
Yeah, beautiful. And with all this water in your chart, you actually will find your deepest alignment and fullest expression when you flow. So that honoring the seasons. And we all need to honor the seasons
True.
in our own way, but especially someone with a lot of water because you're here to like in winter we freeze. In
For
summer
real.
we're like thawing out, we're warming up. Like there really is. Let's look at the distribution of elements in your chart and it will give you insight into how to better support yourself.
I love that.
Because yeah, the fire is intense. The overwork is definitely like Desiree can hustle, but she's learning to
Aw.
listen to the body and align.
Kitty says, I became peaceful because I realized how vulnerable I am in the fight. I'm sensitive. Aw, bless your heart. Jen said, I became peaceful because I feel so deeply that my nervous system will become dysregulated too long. I know that's right. See, but this is the parts of knowing yourself and how to move at it. I can remain at war for years. Like I'm long suffering in my war. I am plotting. So so I really had to pull back on it because, it was not taking away from me. It and then add to that the ADHD, it was just like constant serotonin and dopamine, like, "Oh, we have a problem? I love that we have a problem." Like, what things can I do? And it keeps feeding that dopamine hit in my brain, right? Like, how can I get on your nerves? How can I activate you? And I use that knowledge now, even with my children, right? I'm like, oh, you're not really trying to fight. You guys are dopamine seeking. Find something else to do.
Mhm.
So there's a lot of ways to pull all of this in to your life and apply it, right? Like this is why it's the astrology of liberation, because the more you know about yourself, the more capable and able you are to navigate dismantling systems. All right, carry on.
Absolutely. And that Scorpio moon of yours at the 13 goddess degree, right? Like Scorpio has a tendency to focus on like revenge or to push buttons, but ultimately Scorpio alchemizes us into more truth. And for Desiree, the moon governs like how we connect to our emotions, to our natural cycles and rhythms. And Desiree's in the 10th house, that is our career. That is what we are known for. So she is here. Like there is an emotional satisfaction that you get from um honoring that truth seeking,
Yes.
channeling the God, like connect to and honoring that goddess and divine feminine energy just as much as the masculine, but in service of helping everyone else access those depths and find what is true. And what I love about the 10th house, this is like how we are known in the world, our bigger overarching work that we are doing. Uranus, the liberator, the revolutionary, is here. But Desiree, your Uranus is retrograde, which means before you can show up as a force of liberation for others, you've had to do what we all have to do because the only true path is within.
Yes.
And then we can bring that inner liberation and alignment into our outer work. And so it's been this deep, Scorpio goes to the deepest depths, as does Capricorn. Scorpio's in like the underground, like working the subconscious, the unconscious material and bringing it to light. And so Desiree is here as a liberatory force, but in ways that are still loving, that are still honoring
Yes.
intuition, honoring the cycles and seasons, honoring what our emotional needs are. And that is echoed by your Chiron, which is the wounded healer,